Hello, this is Slate with Combo of Rocks, bringing you another video deck tech of a deck that we built and sold by request. If you're not familiar with us, we make and sell custom budget EDH decks. These decks are light on the budget, so they may not be optimal or competitive, but they're definitely fun and centered around a central theme that you can build on. So today we have Marina Vendrell, and yes, I've done her before, but this one is slightly different, so I did want to do a different video deck tech on it. This is one of each color, Woobrug, for a 3/5 legendary human warlock. When it enters, reveal the top 7 cards of your library, put all enchantment cards from among them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You can tap her to lock or unlock a door of target room. Activate only as a sorcery. Most of these cards are double-sided. There's 2 different effects on each card, so I'm going to go over them briefly and as quickly as I can to get them into the video. We also have Victor Voss Seneschal, 1 white-black for a 3/3 legendary human warlock with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and fully unlock a room, surveil 2 if this is the first time the ability resolves. The second time, each opponent discards a card. If it's the third time, put a creature card from the graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. We have Calyx, Destiny's Hand, 2 green-white for 4 loyalty Calyx, +1, look at the top 4 cards of your library, reveal an enchantment from among them, put that card in your hand, rest on the bottom of your library. -3, exile target creature and enchantment you don't control until the enchantment leaves the battlefield. -7, return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Spirit Sister's Call, 3 black-white for an enchantment. On your end step, choose a permanent in your graveyard. You can sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type. If you do, return the chosen card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains with this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile instead of putting it anywhere else. We have a Restricted Office and Lecture Hall. 2 white. When you unlock the store, destroy all creatures of power 3 or greater. The other side, Lecture Hall, other permanents you control have hexproof. Archon of Sun's Grace. 2 white for a 3/4 Archon with flying and lifelink. Pegasus also have lifelink. Constellation, whenever an enchantment enters, create a 2/2 white Pegasus with flying. Sigil of the Empty Throne. 3 white enchantment. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a 4/4 white angel with flying. Ghostly Dancers, 3 white for a 2/5 spirit with flying. When it enters, return an enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand or unlock a locked door of a room you control with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, create a 3/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Sun Titan, 4 white for a 6/6 Vigilance Giant. Enters or attacks, return a permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Fear of Sleep Paralysis, 5 and a blue for a 6/6 enchantment creature Nightmare with flying Eerie. So whenever an enchantment enters or you unlock a room, tap up to 1 target creature, put a stun counter on it. Stun counters can't be removed from permanents your opponent's control. Entity Tracker, 2 and a blue for a 2/3 with Eerie. Whenever Eerie triggers, draw a card. It's got flash as well. Mirror Room and Fractured Realm. Whenever you unlock the store, create a token that's a copy of a creature you control, except it's a reflection. If a triggered ability of a permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Central Elevator and Promising Stairs. Whenever you unlock the store, search for a room that doesn't have the same name as a room you control, reveal it, put it in your hand. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. You win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of rooms you control. Cramped Vents and Excess Maze. Whenever you unlock the store, deal 6 damage to a creature an opponent controls. You gain life equal to the excess damage. Once during each of your turns, you can cast a spell from your hand by paying life rather than its mana value. We have Polluted Cistern and Dim Duet or Abuet. Whenever 1 or more creatures are put into your graveyard from your library, each opponent loses life for each card type among those cards. Whenever you unlock the store, mill 3 cards and return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Doomwake Giant, 4 and a black for 4/6 enchantment creature giant. Whenever it or another enchantment enters, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Charred Foyer and Warped Space. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You can play that card this turn. On each turn, you can pay 0 rather than a spell you cast from exile. Ticket Booth and Tunnel of Hate. Whenever you unlock the store, Manifest Dread. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature gains double strike until end of turn. Prismatic Omen, 1 and a green enchantment. Lands you control are every basic land type, therefore mana fixing. Mana Bloom, X and a green enchantment. Enters with X counters. Remove a counter to add a mana of any color. When there's no counters on it, return it to your hand. Shigeki Juke Visionary, 1 and a green for 1/3. 1 and a green, return it to your hand. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put a land from among them onto the battlefield. Rest into your graveyard. Channel XX green. Return X non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. Composer of Spring, 1 and a green for 1/3. Whenever an enchantment enters, put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tapped. If you can control 6 or more enchantments, instead put a creature and land from your hand on the battlefield tapped. Chromatic Lantern, taps for mana of any color, also allows your lands to tap for mana of any color. Key to the House, 1 mana, 1 in a tap, sacrifice it, search for a basic, reveal it, put it in your hand. 3 in a tap, sacrifice, lock or unlock a door of target room you control. Prismatic Lens, 2 mana, adds a colorless or can filter a mana for any color. We have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Prophetic Prism, draws a card, filters a mana. Gremlin Tamer, blue-white for 2/2 Human Scout. Whenever an enchantment enters, whenever you unlock a room, create a 1/1 Red Goblin. Inquisitive Glimmer, blue-white for 2/3 Fox Glimmer. Enchantment spells cost 1 less to cast. Unlock spells of rooms cost 1 less to pay. Skull Snaps Nuisance, blue-black for 1/4 Flying with Eerie. Whenever you do that thing, surveil 1. Fear of Infinity, 1 blue-black for 2/2 Flying Lifelink, can't block Eerie. You can return it from your graveyard to your hand. Intruder, Soul Rager, blue-red for a 2/2 Vigilant Spirit. Tap it to sacrifice a room to deal 2 damage to each opponent and draw a card. Smoky Lounge and Misty Salon. At the beginning of your first main phase, add red. Spend this mana only to cast room spells and unlock doors. Whenever you unlock this door, create an XX blue spirit with flying, where X is the number of unlocked doors among rooms you control. Sphere of Safety, 4 and a white enchantment. Creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless they pay X, where X is the number of enchantments you control. Grand Entryway and Elegant Rotunda. Whenever you unlock this door, create a 1/1 Glimmer. Whenever you unlock this door, put a 1/1 counter on up to 2 target creatures. Optimistic Scavenger, 1 white for a 1/1 Eerie. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature. Oromancer, 2 and a white for 2/2. Return an enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Underwater Tunnel and Slimy Aquarium. Whenever you unlock this door, Surveil 2. Whenever you unlock this door, Manifest Dread, then put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Meat Locker and Drowned Diner. Whenever you unlock this door, tap up to 2 target creature, or 1 creature, put 2 stun counters on it. Whenever you unlock this door, draw 3 cards and discard a card. Bottomless Pool and Locker Room. Whenever you unlock this door, return a creature to its owner's hand. And this one, whenever a creature deals combat damage, draw a card. Ghostly Key Bear, 3 and a blue for a 3/3 flying. When it deals combat damage, unlock a locked door of a room you control. Scrabbling Skull Crab, 1 blue for 0/3 Eerie, mill 2 cards. Sage of Mysteries, 1 blue for 0/2. Whenever an enchantment enters, target player puts the top 2 cards of the library into their graveyard. Thassa's Devourer, 4 and a blue for a 2/6 elemental creature, enchantment creature. When it enters, or an enchantment enters, target player mills 2 cards. Lunar Force, 2 and a blue. And when an opponent casts a spell, sacrifice it and counter a spell. This works very well with Sun Titan. Defiled Crypt and Cadaver Lab. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 enchantment horror creature. Triggers only once each turn. Whenever you unlock this door, return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Derelict Attic and Widow's Walk. Whenever you lock this door, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Whenever a creature you attack alone gets +1/+0 and gains a death touch until end of turn. Bellmark Leech, 1 and a black for 2/2. Whenever an enchantment enters or you unlock a room, each opponent loses a life. Painter's Studio and Defaced Gallery. Whenever you unlock the store, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You can play them until your next turn. This one, whenever you attack, attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. We have Glassworks and Shattered Yard. When you unlock this room, it deals 4 damage to a creature an opponent controls. When you do this one, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Greenhouse and Rickety Gazebo. Lands you control, tap for a mana of any color. On this side, whenever you unlock the door, mill 4 cards and return 2 permanents from among them to your hand. Moldering Gym and Weight Room. So when you unlock this door, search for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. When you do this one, Manifest Dread, and put 3/1 counters on that creature. We have Utopia Sprawl for some ramp and some fixing. Font of Fertility is an enchantment you can sacrifice to search for a basic, put on the battlefield tapped. Unbridled Growth, 1 green, also allows you to mana fix. You can sack it to draw a card. Fertile Ground, much like Utopia Sprawl, but you don't have to choose a color. You choose it as you tap the land. Colony Heart Exploitation. Once it has 3 quest counters on it, you can sack it to search for 2 basics. Whenever a land enters, you do put a quest counter on it. Nessian Wanderer, 1 and a green. Whenever an enchantment enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library, reveal a land, put it into your hand, the rest of them go in their bottom. Path to the Festival, 2 and a green. Searches for a basic land. If you have 3 or more basics among basic land types, scry 1. It's got flashback for 4 and a green. The Weather Seed Treaty, 2 and a green. Saga, search for a basic land, put on the battlefield tapped. Number 2, create 1/1 Sapperling. Number 3, target creature gets +X/+X and trample, where X is the number of basic lands you have. Fertilate at 2 and a green for 0/0. You can enters with 2 counters. You can also pay a 1 and a green, remove a counter, and search for a basic land from the battlefield tapped. Expand the Sphere, 3 and a green. It looks at the top 6 cards of your library. You can put 2 lands from among them onto the battlefield tapped. If you put fewer than 2 lands, proliferate equal to the difference. Ranger's Path, 3 and a green, searches for 2 forests, puts them onto the battlefield tapped. And Dryad's Revival, 2 and a green, returns a card from your graveyard to your hand with flashback for 4 and a green. Into some lands, we have Murmuring Bosk, a forest that taps for black, white, or green. Exotic Orchard, Command Tower, Hidden Grotto, Crystal Grotto, Skycloud Expanse, Darkwater Catacombs, Cinderglade, Canopy Vista, Sungrass Prairie, Fortified Village, Frozen Verge, searches for a forest and a plains, Caves of Koilos, Desolate Mire, Fiery Islet, Ferris Lake, Fine Glimmer Snarl, Yavimaya Coast, Waterlogged Grove, Overflowing Basin, Necroblossom Snarl, Haunted Mire, and then we have a few of each basic here. That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it, but we'll see you next time.